Good afternoon. My name is Katie Cole. I'm a graduate student at Tusculum University, and I did my research project on factors of effective teacher retention, what makes them stay. The motivation behind doing this study was the question that I've been asking myself for 2 years probably. How could I avoid becoming part of the teacher attrition statistic? Teacher attrition rates negatively impact budgets and student outcomes across the board in the United States. Those student outcomes mainly are contributed to having teachers that do not stay in the job long enough to progress their skills. The teacher attrition, the average teacher in 1988 had around just over 15 years of experience. The average teacher today has less than 3. So we're going in the wrong direction as a country when it comes to teacher attrition and teacher experience. The study asked 2 questions. What is the difference between teachers who leave the teaching field and those who stay? And can those deciding factors be replicated to increase the number of master teachers or those that achieve tenure in their career? 44.4% of new teachers wash out before their 5th year. The cost of that attrition by way of recruitment bonuses and things like that within school districts is $2.6 billion a year. For districts who struggle to make budgets meet all the criteria and needs anyways, we cannot afford as a country to waste $2.6 billion on those resources. Those need to be going to the students, not to teachers who burn out. Research shows that the reason for those high attrition rates are deficits in comprehensive induction systems. They are not getting the things that they need to do their job effectively forever on their own, just in teacher training programs. They need continued education into their induction year post-graduation. They also have stated a lack of mentoring in their induction year. There's a lack of administrative support. There's a lack of access to necessary teaching resources. They're not getting constructive feedback as far as how to improve their teaching strategies. The feeling was that they were handed the keys to their classroom and held accountable for student outcomes without getting any more strategies on how to improve in the areas that they were lacking in. And there was a lack of professional development across the board. This study set out to answer those questions by way of SurveyMonkey. There was an anonymous survey that was sent out to a school district in Texas, and they disseminated the survey to 2 Title I schools, and the teachers and the targeted participants were teachers with 5 or more years of experience, and they had to be in a Title I school. The reason for choosing Title I schools is the attrition rate in those schools is much higher than in the average school district, and the teachers who thrive and succeed in those schools obviously are equipped and have the knowledge to operate within that system, and we wanted to see what factors those were that contributed to their success, because they were working in the hardest environment that they could at that level and were still thriving. The results were 26 teachers participated in this study. When asked what factors contributed to their success as educators, 11.5% listed good access to resources and access to a good mentor while on their job. 23% stated excellent staff development on the campus and district level, they said was key. Good administrative support was listed as 27% of participants listed that, as well as, this was a surprise, this was not in my hypothesis, administrative support was, But team collaboration, 73% of teachers said team collaboration was key in their success. It goes along with the saying, iron sharpens iron. When you surround yourself with teachers, you have somebody to bounce ideas off of, speak and talk about challenges that come up in different situations and how best to handle those situations. You need a support system. When asked what those teachers thought new teachers needed, skills and what factors could contribute to their success and contribute to longevity in their career, 15.4% said effective classroom management, which all educators know, if you have good classroom management, you're going to have more instructional time, which always is better for everybody across the board, student outcome-wise and teacher effectiveness-wise. Creativity and problem-solving skills were necessary factors listed by 15.4%. 19.2% said flexibility. Things change, problems arise. You need to know how to handle that and have a good attitude in the midst of it. One of the studies that was done spoke about a student who was very promising at the college level when she was in her training. She graduated and her professors followed her into her induction year and were really surprised with how her attitude changed from outgoing and positive to one of disillusionment and questioning whether or not she was going to continue on for a second year of teaching. A lot of that was due to the fact she didn't really have those flexibility skills as part of her skill set, because when things arose, kids coming in late, parents showing up for meetings, different things like that, she was feeling like it was a personal assault and that it was something that was happening to her and not necessarily part of the school environment. You have to be flexible, you have to know how to handle situations and stay positive. 30.8% of teachers listed patience as a necessary skill for success, and cultural understanding. These teachers that were surveyed work in Title I schools. They are in diverse community of learners, and knowing what challenges those students face is essential when trying to reach them on a personal and an academic level. You need to know what these students are dealing with, what their lives are like, and what priorities that they have and what challenges they have before they walk in the door of the school every day. In conclusion, due to the lack of administrative support that was listed in the literature when studying the background of this problem, as well as the lack of training that was listed by those teachers who did burn out, a comprehensive induction system for both administrators and new teachers should be studied. When those teachers take those steps to become administrators, an induction system for the first few years of their job position would be beneficial to them as well as the teachers that are working under them. Weak leadership is devastating to a school campus and devastating to the teachers that are having to operate within that environment. And more research needs to be done on how we can address those issues, and that may be the answer. The other conclusion that I came up with when studying this data is really the way to address these issues of issue of teacher attrition would be to prevent those issues that they listed. Every issue, with the exception of leaving for family reasons, whether that be illness or pregnancy, was something that should be the standard in every school district. Administrative support, resources to teach and do your job effectively, those should not be the exception to the rule. They should be the standard. So that was the conclusion. Prevention, as well as more research done on induction systems for administrators and teachers. Thank you so much for your time.